There are a lot of pre-trained model right now in Stable Diffusion. So you can, for example, use a model which generates like perfectly realistic human beings, like from scratch. That person does not exist. So you can easily do a photo shoot without models using a product, your product.
Oh, wow.
So you can do that inside Stable Diffusion. You can actually train your own model. You can actually train using a certain product, or you can use a certain model that you created. You can just reuse it a million times.
Two special guests here today. Duo sisters, already nodding at me. So I get the
You're
name.
already laughing.
So I'm already laughing.
It's just,
Marina and IOANA, all the way from Romania.
Big up Romania.
I'm really fascinated about you two. You both run a tech company, sisters, out of Romania.
Exactly.
You look very glamorous and nice. What's the secret?
What's the secret? Well, a lot of work, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
that's true.
As a woman in the tech field, you really have to put way more effort than a man would, to be
Oh,
honest.
really?
Well,
Straight off of it. Okay.
Straight off the...
No, but no. Hard work is
Hard work in general, yeah.
Hard work in general is a given, right? But that doesn't. Surely that doesn't matter if you're male or female. Is it because
it's
there's
just
more
a
men?
male-dominated
Okay,
industry.
right,
That's
right.
it. It's not.
It's also preconception about like women, like in this sector especially, because usually there were like more men than women that were, I don't know, developers, programmers, or whatever.
Right, tech coders, that kind of thing.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
So
yes.
I think
I still get wow when I tell
Yeah.
people what I do,
Exactly.
and it's
Yeah.
for us it's like something we've done since like
Yeah.
a long period of time.
It's
Like,
healthy to hear because it's almost like we need more pioneers, female pioneers in the
Exactly.
industry to,
That's
you
true.
know, transcend the message within whatever that you're passionate about. So tell us more about how you're involved with technology, what you got set up, how you set up the business.
Okay, well, we opened a business like the services provider businesses a couple of years ago. It's a tech company which focuses on helping brands navigate this tech environment with some emerging technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and so on and so forth. Because brands nowadays don't have to stop your attention or like get in front of you just to sell something. They have to provide like an experience for the user to actually engage with your brand and for your brand to be relevant. So this is what we're actually doing. We're helping businesses with immersive marketing, let's say. So that, because there are so many technologies right now emerging. Like 2 years ago and 1 year ago, MetaVerse was cool. Right now it's artificial intelligence. So brands don't really know what to choose for their business. That's
It's
what we
changing
do.
so quick, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
evolving
And
so quickly.
it's complicated when you are not in the field to do that.
It's
So-
interesting that you say that because, like, I sort of take myself, for example, I'm a very practical person. When someone sort of tells me how to do something, I always say to myself, no, show me how to do it. Like,
Okay.
let me see it visually. I'm a practical person. I need to see visuals. I need to. So you're incorporating.
It's a bit slow, so it takes me a lot of time to just to process things.
I
But it's
won't-
okay.
I won't respond to that because he's just. I don't even know why I'm friends with him.
well,
No, but like you're incorporating the immersive experience for people, and I think that alone is going to get the engagement and involvement that you want.
Exactly.
So tell us more about how you do that.
well,
we develop AR apps, VR apps, all kind of things that brands can actually use for their customer to engage with the product that the brands are selling. For example, I don't know, a brand who sells shoes. They might develop at our agency a filter, for example, an AR filter that is gonna help their customer engage better with the product that they're receiving. For example, when you receive the pair of shoes, you just scan a QR code and I don't know, something
like an animation will happen around
exactly.
that like that packages, something
Exactly.
that will make the user, like the customer, share that experience on
Exactly.
social media, because that's free advertising in the end.
So would you say efficiency is the key element and key goal as part of that experience? Because you want things to, everybody wants things quicker. Everything wants something yesterday. Do you know what I mean? So I think incorporating that immersive experience, those visuals, is it all down to efficiency?
Just a second. You can talk about efficiency but like when you scan that QR code as a client, you get 15% off for your next order. Wouldn't you actually be more motivated to do that?
So now there's an incentive
Exactly.
in place.
Exactly.
Okay. So
here's a bit of a challenge then probably for yourselves. How do you keep up with the technology as it's moving? Because if the consumer is struggling to keep up with it, and as you know, we've spoken before about, last year the MetaVerse was big, the year before it was crypto, now everything's like driving forward to AI, and I actually think AI, the stuff that I've used on AI is by far the most like
Mind-blowing.
the most mind-blowing and the most amount of thing, the most thing that makes sense, that's going to change very quickly. So how do you two keep up with it, or how do you, because you must be just learning something every day?
Yeah, well, but the thing is, we're crazy passionate about what we do. We don't do it just because it's a job.
Right.
We do it like in our free time. In our free time,
Yeah.
we don't watch the prize fighter. We watch.
You haven't seen Prizefighter?
No, you say so.
Maybe.
I'm leaving.
Maybe.
I'm joking.
Okay, so
No,
we
I know
watch,
your life. You don't leave your house, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't leave our house. So
we
that's
spoke
the
for like
answer.
we spoke
Yeah.
for a couple of months when we first started talking about all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying like, I just work non-stop. That's how we clicked.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
working non-stop. And you're like, yeah, I'm doing exactly the same. I mean, there's so much, aside from being, the women that you are and the kind of entrepreneurship that you're heading in, it doesn't matter. Like the work ethic has to come first, right? You have to be like
100%.
you have to be. You can't just be 100%. You've got to be 100%
we're-
dedicated, passionate, live it, breathe it, sleep it, and then.
Not just rely on your talent and
Yes.
skill.
Yeah.
And that's like,
Yeah.
how do you keep the motivation
But
to do that?
when you work in the tech sector, you kind of meet people, you have connections, you permanently talk with those that work in the same field with you. It's not just us. For example, we also do like collaborate with agencies in LA, in so many other places, San Francisco and so on. So it's not like we permanently collaborate with other companies and we share experiences between
But
each
it's
other.
how do you keep the how do you keep the motivation to do that non-stop? Because it's hard to.
Madness.
So
We're
It's hard to live a life. I know it because I've done it, but you do
we
have to have breaks.
puppies.
You have dogs.
Yeah, that keeps us.
You live together.
Yeah.
And also there must be, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but there must be, you seem like you get along really well, which is great, but there must be a bit of friction as well where, no?
Like once a month, maybe like
Okay.
a fight between us, but it's usually very, very like
Small
first
fights.
Yeah.
something silly around the house or something.
Oh, so it's not
So
even, it's not even work related. It's,
No,
okay.
no.
Usually we get along well.
because with the creative industry and the tech side,
Yeah, but
there's so many different things, there's so many different opinions you can have, right?
Each of us have like different
Perspectives.
backgrounds.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I'm a programmer, Iona is a metaverse designer, so like we kind of complete each other, let's
Right.
say.
Exactly.
So-
we don't
Crossover.
overlap. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have different expertise, and we come together and we listen to each other on what the other
Exactly.
person advises. So
It goes back to what you were saying before, how you're collaborating with loads of different companies
Yes.
across internationally, and you're sharing those experiences, and then you're complementing each other in terms of how you can better what you specialize in. What's new in the metaverse? I'll go to like each individually. Because you specialize in the metaverse and you specialize in programming, you said.
Programming,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So
You already
let's.
forgot.
No, I didn't. So let's touch on the metaverse.
Spell program.
What? I've got a good memory. Do you want me to bring up some past memories? So the metaverse, for someone who doesn't know what that is, for someone who's like maybe 10, 11 years old, looking into sort of all the
Stuff
the
around
majority
that,
of
Well, you
like,
yourself, you're quite open. You don't know much about it.
You're
Yeah,
not
I-
allowed with a phone at 10 years old.
No, exactly. I mean, that's it.
We
Like
stuck in
I
here.
I know kids now that are so much more advanced on technology
than we used
than we used to be.
Well,
Exactly.
that's
So
not necessarily a good
It's
thing.
not a good thing.
I mean,
Sometimes
you
it could
have
be-
to live like it's good to be connected with all those technologies and stuff, but like till a point. I mean, you also
to
have
let it absorb.
Exactly, not to let it absorb you,
Yeah.
and I don't know, not live in the real life anymore. Like you live in the metaverse.
of course. So being in the how do you go about designing something like that? Where do you get your inspiration from? What's key to your designs?
Well, first of all, we do, because we work for brands, so we do a brand audit where we see exactly what would work for that brand, what kind of strategy. It's like basically marketing, but it's just immersive. So we do the audit, we see what will work for that brand, and we propose to that brand
Particular
what
brand.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly,
that's
what
cool.
would
So
work.
you look at the company and go, right, this is what we think. you
Exactly,
could
because
benefit
there's
from.
it's a custom-made solution
So
for
it's
every
different.
brand. It's not
Right.
one for everyone.
It's
So-
a tailored solution. yeah.
Exactly, it's a tailored
Exactly.
solution, yeah. So, getting back to your question, what is new in the metaverse? Because, okay, maybe right now it's not trendy anymore. The term is not that used because AI is.
Making like a parenthesis, like metaverse, or it's like this hyped world includes like technologies which were here like long before.
Right.
It's just
Yeah,
a world
exactly.
like you combine augmented reality, virtual reality, I don't know, mixed reality or whatever, and you just make a new world out of it, and it's like metaverse. It's like more for, I don't know, marketing purposes.
And it could be
more
fun
than-
too. Like you could create
a lot of,
characters, and you could
entertainment.
be this character in the metaverse. It's almost like you're in your own computer game. for
It's
Exactly.
like,
example.
it's
So-
like the early stages of the film. You probably haven't seen it because you don't watch films.
We watch a lot of fun.
Ready Player One. You know, Steven Spielberg's Ready
Okay,
Player
I
One.
didn't see that one. Okay.
I'm curious if you saw Avatar.
Yeah, of course.
What do you think about it?
I think that's
Incredible.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second
as a
one
filmmaking
yet,
experience, it's incredible. And Ready Player One, if like that is metaverse 2.0. Like
They
it's
used like lots of CGI manipulations in the whole movie, and it was like super complex. Like it incorporates a lot of technology,
Yeah.
in, and that's why I was asking. Like
I mean, look, you know,
not necessarily the
just-
story plot.
yeah, the
Yeah.
the filmmaking experience, the story, the visual effects, the you know, everything is just it's an incredible. Yeah, it's an incredible experience. I think it's
Really,
brilliant.
I
And
didn't really like the storyline. I found
second
it.
one?
Yeah, the second one. I found
thought it
it
was beautiful.
quite.
I
Yeah, well,
haven't seen
I guess
it
it's
yet.
maybe it's for I don't know.
yeah,
Just,
I get sort of a little bit like sensitive towards like animals. So like when the big like whale was in, do you mean like I get sensitive towards stuff like that, and this whole perfect world. So like I don't know, it was it's incredible, and it's taken so many years to make. But Ready Player One is a very good example of like, you know, seeing what the future of the metaverse could be like.
Yeah.
And it's weird how, I mean, what's your thoughts on how the hype just keeps, you know, it's like bull market, bear market, and then it's like the hype, and then it's gone, and it's like it in the
This
same
is
happened with crypto.
exactly the same like in all technologies.
Right.
That's like there's a straight line where people are overexcited about something because some technology there are some technology advances at a point in time, and then they have high expectation, and then their expectations are not met,
Right.
and their interest falls down. Not so much with artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Here's this day because it's actually growing exponentially.
Yeah.
So it's
So this is what I was going to ask you, because my view on like if you look at these three, let's look at three like really, you know, huge emerging technologies. I think crypto had that kind of, you know, huge boost and went crazy. And now
well,
it's-
yeah,
and
because
now-
that was money making.
Yeah, and that was money making. Now it's
Yeah.
just kind of just stalemate. It's just sitting at the same level for it's been a while now.
Well, it's
the
gambling.
metaverse had a big
Yeah,
hype.
it's basically.
It's just
Yeah, the metaverse had a big hype, but I always looked at it and thought, okay, I can see where it could go, but it's
will
still
go,
it's
for
still at that sort of you know, when you used to sign up to like the internet and you used to, yeah, it's at
dial-up
it's at the
type,
dial-up stage of
Yeah.
internet where it's like I wouldn't be hanging around in it. It would have to be so immersive and so good to be hanging around in it.
But this year there are going to be a lot of advances in that direction.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of VR games going out right now with incredible graphics.
Okay.
There are a lot more studio games, like indie studio games, who are developing for the VR. And also it's rumored, and probably it's true, that Apple is going to release also a wearable, which is going to be like a mixed reality type of wearable.
What's this wearable?
Like
a
a pair of
headpiece
glasses,
or a pair of glasses?
Glasses.
Is that where they project? So let's say they're putting these glasses on and they're projecting this image
mixed
in
reality,
front of them,
yeah,
and then they
exactly.
can sort of be in it.
Exactly.
Like-
This is what mixed reality is. It's like basically augmented reality. So you place a CGI object inside your room, but mixed reality is like that object interacts with your room, and you can interact. Let's say it's a piece, I don't know, like a couple of balls.
No way, I was thinking the same word.
Yeah.
I think
Okay, so let's imagine that there are a couple of cubes in a room, so you can hit them around.
No, because she
Let's
was
move on.
because she was
Like
thinking
boxing.
of a game.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you can interact with those cubes and like throw them around, and they would hit your basic
your
Right.
actual
your
wall. I
Okay,
see what
is
you
it-
mean.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're actually merging the two
Exactly, and
together.
that will
or they are merging
What
two.
about what we were discussing yesterday? When like you go on the street and you see like, I don't know, you see a store, you wear your glasses, and I don't know, a commercial comes up with some stuff that's
See, that's
presented.
quite interesting.
Yeah, that's
so
what-
so
exactly.
that's a whole new experience of
Exactly.
marketing and selling,
And
because
not only marketing. Sorry.
I was just going to say, because like I'm an avid shopper. I like going shopping, whether it be clothes, whether it be technology. But going into the store, I think that experience is lost because everybody likes to shop online now. So where you guys are looking into your resources, if Apple are creating these pair of glasses where you can walk into a shop
Could
and
be driving people back into the stores.
and it's giving you a commercial that is not necessarily a screen in the store, but you're visually seeing what's new, what's popping.
Yeah, but not even that, like in your face. Maybe just like a cool animation that will
Bring your attention.
that will bring your
But-
attention to the shop.
Do you think all the so the metaverse had a bit of a hype? Do you think now it's
It's
like
in like stabilized.
yeah? Do you think it's stabilized because the coders and programmers have gone right? This is not going to work at what it's at because it's not exciting or interesting enough. And what we've got to do now is design these games or this. The moment you make one thing that really changes your like experience, then it's going to pop, because all of it was just like throwing
Yeah,
out. It's the same as crypto, like every coin under the sun. Like maybe they're at a sort of a stale stage now where they're just waiting to develop. But when you go to AI, that's there.
It's more advanced.
And it's not even there, like it's there, but the potential is
Huge.
incredible. I was saying to Jay last night, we were walking in London, and I said, look, I've got chat GPT now is on my phone, and it's on my tab. It's open on my tab the whole time, just because it's incredibly usul. And I was just showing him for the first time.
What are you asking
For
ChatGPT?
the
What you can do.
first time,
We-
really?
we will-
I'm
we-
curious.
We're in the film.
Curious.
We're in the film
Let's see, because
industry.
it has history.
I mean, OpenAI
There
already
we
has
go.
your data, so share with us.
So look, I used it.
For a script.
I was playing around with it for a while. I used it the other day. I went to a family birthday
And
party
you
in
wanted to
Wales.
compose the message?
No, I just said write a song about Richard
Okay.
on his birthday, and
That's
it came up
cool.
with a song. And then I've put I've asked stuff about when the universe began. I've asked some weird questions like
Philosophical
when will I die? And then the answers are so interesting because it changes every time, obviously. But
Yeah.
it's like I can't answer that information, but you should live every moment to the fullest, and it gives you like that inspirational thing. But in terms of like being able to write film treatments for myself and being able to answer questions that you just can't answer and use it as that kind of tool, and the potential of it is blowing. Like I read the other day that they did this list of the amount of users that joined like Facebook and the time frame it took. So it's like X amount, 100,000, and Twitter and all these kind of things. And I think TikTok was the fastest built usership platform in the space.
Yeah, it's
and then you see
good.
ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and it's gone like like just blown everyone else
Just
away.
You know
Chat
what's funny? Like the technology that ChatGPT uses has been here for many
Yeah,
years.
it's been, right.
But like they just put an interface.
Okay.
Like that's it. I mean, you see the power of what an
Has been growing
exactly.
over the years.
Well, give me two things. For anyone that doesn't know, because there's so many people that still doesn't know what ChatGPT is.
Yeah.
Give a sort of brief introduction on what ChatGPT is, and maybe I'm interested in knowing the tech side of it in terms of, okay, what are they actually using? Because I was speaking to James about it, and he said, look, you know, they've combined all the information on the internet basically and tried to get all these papers and all this information, and then when you type it in, it basically finds it and puts it in very
But
quickly.
in that
Well, it has
record
been
speed,
trained.
it's so
Trained.
fast. That's why I'm so fascinated by it, because it's so fast.
Well,
But- so
tell me how you would
tell-
describe like what
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is
Well,
in a very understandable
In a
form.
very
Okay,
understandable
she's gonna
form.
explain it in a tech way, and I'm gonna translate.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, basically, ChatGPT is an app that uses GPT-3 technology. Like GPT-3, it's a model. I'm gonna explain more. Don't worry about it.
And the GPT is
GPT-3 is a generative pre-trained transformer.
Yeah.
The thing is that also transformers have been here for a long period of time. It's just the way OpenAI made this GPT-3. It's like, I don't know. It uses. It made it smarter, let's say, than
Or like
the
more like
previous.
human-like.
Exactly. The way they thought about it to actually implement it, it was like to give like a more human sense. That's to it. Like that's.
And is it true that the more you I've heard this, I don't know if it's true, but the more you train
No.
AI.
No, it's a
That's
pre-trained.
what I'm gonna say.
It's a pre-trained
pre-trained.
model.
Yeah.
Wait there. You know
Because
what I'm gonna
it's
say,
a
yeah?
misconception
I
of
just read
very.
your mind.
I think
We
This is
already have a
ChatGPT
chip.
brains
Exactly.
here.
Yeah,
They're
we have a
already
chip
reading your
inside
mind.
our-
Like,
you've got the Neuralink.
Yeah, exactly.
So the more you,
They've been chipped.
I heard that the more you train the AI, it then over time
Usually,
becomes
yes.
smart. It
That's
actually,
true.
over time, it starts picking up on patterns.
That's
and
true.
if it's human, if it's picking up
That's
on
true.
human patterns, it will start to develop its own,
Usually-
not its own thing, but it will be able to pick stuff up without needing someone to. program
Yeah,
it.
but like
Yeah.
it takes into consideration like what technology you're using, because like there are so many types of AI. There are convolutional neural networks, RNN, like transformers, and so on. So it's important what technology you use, so you can actually do that, like training in the.
Yeah.
But then,
Have you heard- have you
I don't want them necessarily just to go, right, what's been my history of what I've been looking into, for them to give me examples and pull some information.
It doesn't matter. They can do that anyway. It's like-
Yeah, but then is it always going to be refreshed in the way
Yeah.
that you want it to be?
It's always going to be like that. I'm really interested. I've sort of delved into it because I got hooked when I started seeing the results straight away.
Well,
I was
your
looking at
hookings.
Harvey. I was hooked for hookings.
Dad jokes.
I was looking at a company called Harvey AI, which is really fascinating. It's a law firm. Law firms can sign up to it, and they can start basically writing really in-depth contracts for law. Jasper, and I've been watching a few of these videos now where obviously we are still in a very early stage of AI, and there's ChatGPT, and then there's a video side of something, and there's an audio side. But at what point is it going to go so quickly where there's going to be one program that you can go, create me a video where this person is 6'2" tall and he talks about my company, which is called XYZ, and it's about tech. Are we gonna head in that space where that video will then just translate?
Well, we are kind of already there, but
Yeah.
it's not very, very.
But it's individual.
amazingly. Sorry.
It's not. There's not one company that does all that,
No, no,
right?
no.
They're individual. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
it really depends on like the computational power of
Yeah.
a company.
So how quickly are we going to get there where there's one site that's going to be like really advanced and going to be able to literally do
I don't think it's
voice, text, video?
Well, there are already
Maybe we're going to do
companies-
that.
Yeah.
You've already got that.
Yeah.
Where there are companies right now that actually implemented models like text to image models or
Combined with
yeah,
other-
image to videos or whatever. So they're already text to sound, for example.
Yeah, I saw
Those
the
are all-
Eminem thing. Did you see that with the
Eminem
yeah,
thing?
The,
No, I didn't
David
see.
Guetta, the DJ.
No.
He said he took the I'll show you afterwards. It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He said write me an Eminem style verse that says "Future Rave,"
Okay.
and then he put that text into a voice AI program, and he said he just was blown away how well it worked, and now he's using it in his shows, and it's like Eminem saying, you know,
Yeah, he used that
the
sample.
future rave,
yeah,
blah blah blah.
I
So
saw that.
my point, and Jordan Peterson just said something like the power of it. It's crazy going on to this, but he said the power of it in pornography is crazy because
Wow.
he said at some point
Look
you're
at
gonna
the hot topics.
Yeah,
no,
you
but
can
he just
see.
said he said like in terms of like social connection with humans and where we're going to go. He said at some point soon you're going to be able to go into a AI site. You're going to be able to design your perfect woman. You know,
You can actually do that right now. But
Right.
yeah, there's a Russian app that has been doing that for
Wow.
quite a while. So.
what and build like the person, the image,
Yeah,
and
there-
then
Look
have them
how
say whatever.
interesting.
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna give it to you afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not. That's not. It's just the idea of that. Like
We're gonna cut this.
what the power of that and what it could do to like actual separating social connection is going to be. It's going to be
Will I
crazy,
get the
no?
perfect woman?
I'll
Guys,
find the
please tell
perfect
me.
woman there. No, but I just think it has so much power. So where are we going to go with this? How quickly are we going to take off with this? And do you think ChatGPT is the beginning of
I
like?
think till 2045, like we're gonna be there.
What?
We're gonna be with like AI is gonna have like it's gonna be like super powerful. It's gonna be like it's I don't know equally as a human brain, or even it will surpass human intelligence.
That seems too
So-
long away. I feel like
Well,
we're.
there will be like a huge. I don't
I
know.
thought
like-
within-
Look,
next-
we're talking about singularity in
Right.
tech, so this is like a big thing. Like replacing the
Human.
human
Human.
and not needing the humans to actually develop something. This is like
Exactly.
huge.
You think it's
I
going to
think
get
so.
rid of loads of jobs?
Of course.
Yeah,
that-
but it will create
Exactly.
others. So
I-
it's
What for
it's-
programming and tech and all that kind of stuff?
for programming, for prompting. There's already a
Yeah.
job
Yeah.
called prompting.
And I suppose
so-
it's not, you don't get the exact answer. You've got to take that information and you've got to tweak it as well. You still got to you can still have a human touch.
And yeah, exactly. And until we get to that point of singularity, where AI is an extremely powerful supercomputer.
Right. So you're saying, the tech side is one side, but the moment it transcends to like everyone and every person's using it like they would use a kettle, then that's
Yeah.
where it becomes really, really sort of
Exactly, but it depends on the computational power that we're gonna have in the future, because in the end, you see like quantum computers, like they're working on developing more powerful computers, like they can process way more
And faster.
exactly,
But do
because
you,
they make like parallel processing, so you can actually train like at the same time multiple things like comparing to the regular-
multitasking? Yeah.
Exactly.
So and I agree with that. I think that's where that technology is going to be so much
Yeah.
more advanced, because that computer can compute that to do two things or more than one thing
Exactly.
at the same time, as opposed to a human that wouldn't be able to do that. But do you think that losing the human touch in terms of like what that human's experience and gone through in real life experiences, does that not affect the way that the computer's going to deal with something as opposed to a human dealing with something? Do you know what I
the
mean? Like,
idea is it might be better
I'll
than
take
human.
I'll give you an example. Let's say if you're using this type of technology for safety. Now, let's say you're trying to save a human being. Some sort of technology that is going to save a human's life, but you leave the technology to allow that to do that by itself. Is there going to be elements to what that technology to basically leave it to its own devices to be able
We're
to do
already
that, or
talking
you
about
use
ethics in tech, and
Yeah.
this is like something that's gonna have to be regulated by the governments. Exactly
Yeah.
how we use this incredibly powerful tech,
Like-
and if we allow like the technology to rule our life, or we also count on humans to supervise it. Right now, even there are a lot of humans who supervise the content generated by softwares like programs like ChatGPT
exactly.
or Stable Diffusion or DALL-E
Yeah.
or whatever. So that's
Stable
they can.
Diffusion's incredible.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
that's true.
Tell us about that, because I'm I know a little bit about it, but give
Well,
us,
that's a text to image model
Yeah.
basically. So you just have you used it? Like you tried to play with it? Okay.
I'm curious what you generated.
Yeah, me too.
So curious
He is
about
like,
so curious about my chat
well.
GPT text. And
Well,
No, but
you
history.
can know a lot about a person.
yeah, for anyone that doesn't know what Stable Diffusion is, give it to us in a very simplistic way. You can basically type text in and it creates an image, right?
Exactly. Basically, like it analyzes the text that you just wrote, and it's like it generates an image based on what the user inputs are.
and it can be like closer to your model or further away depending on
Exactly.
your settings over there. Or you can also input like the texture, the color, the the filming style, the photographic style.
Give us an
The-
idea of what you like, what you've used it for, or give someone an idea of something.
For example,
crazy.
there are a lot of pre-trained model right now in Stable Diffusion. So you can, for example, use a model which generates like perfectly realistic human beings, like from scratch. That person does not exist. So you can easily do a photo shoot without models using a product, your product.
Oh wow.
So you can do that inside Stable Diffusion. You can actually train your own model. You can actually train using a certain product, or you can use a certain model that you created. You can just reuse it a million times, or you can
So
create
you-
an
Are those
influencer.
stills, or are they
Stills.
but can you get them to evidently
Well,
move? Like, let's say if I take fashion for example, you create your own model. Let's say some of the top brands, Louis Vuitton wants to create their perfect model to promote their items. Can that then go into someone moving on a catwalk, for example?
Yes, you can do that right now. You can't really do that entirely with AI. But let's say you generate the model with Stable Diffusion, for example, and then you go into programs like Unreal or Maya, and you create that character based on the model you created with AI. And then you animate it using like the suit that I have on my Instagram, like a motion capture suit that captures your motion, whatever that motion may be, like walking down a runway. And you put that product, like whatever, Dior bags or shoes or whatever, onto that character. So
It's incredible, isn't it? The sort of possibilities are crazy, and I think I saw one image on Stable Diffusion, and it was like, Super Mario at the Nuremberg trials in 1944, and it was like you can just you can put anything you want, and it will generate it for you. And I've used it already, and it's interesting. I'm not a tech geek, but it's fascinating how you can play around with all this stuff. I think it's gonna. I'm gonna make a statement. I think it's gonna get rid of jobs very quickly, and I think it's gonna move. I think this is the thing that's gonna actually stick and move very quickly. And I think within 5 years, the majority of people will be using it in some form. I think you're right in the sense it's going to take a lot longer to actually replace, everyday things and actually
That's
just
for sure,
get rid of it. Yeah, because it's just, the moment
There's
the moment
got to
it
be a
does
lot
that.
of testing involved, and
Exactly. And don't you imagine that the final result, like the image generated, they don't need retouches. I mean, it helps, like, for example, a 3D animator, it helps that person, but it cannot totally replace that person.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You
Well,
must,
it's
like,
speed and efficiency. It's
it
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
people like faster
Exactly.
in what they do,
Yeah.
but they don't replace them. It's
if I'm putting together like film decks, it could take me a couple of days, or a poster designer or the creative friend that does the decks. It could take them a couple of days to design a poster, or I just put it in AI and it's there.
True.
And it's like it's crazy.
True.
I'm gonna flip it a little bit. What is it like living in Romania? And
Okay.
you live together. Where are you in Bucharest?
Yeah.
yeah.
How
Oh,
can
you
you-
forgot.
I-
How funny. How funny.
No, I know. We've been there. What is it
we
like
were
there
there
for
for
you?
1 day. So
Obviously,
we didn't
you're
really-
from there.
For a day,
literally a day.
you
24.
just run. Okay.
We came and went. No, but you're from
But
there.
it's
You're born and
amazing,
raised
like-
there, right?
Come on.
Not in Bucharest. No, we've
No.
been born near
the
near
north
Ukraine, like exactly
Okay.
in a city over there.
Is there something that you can sort of go to in your childhood which made you kind of the woman you are today in terms of your drive, your passion, your
Our
work
family.
ethic? Family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
for
The way you were raised?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the way we were raised, and
100%,
Yeah.
like our family,
I've seen how close you are with your
Our
mum and dad.
parents
Yeah.
have always been involved in businesses. They
Right.
had their own stuff, and I don't know. We grew up with that mentality that we have to work for ourselves. We'll have to, I don't know, be the best in school and in whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of pressure on us to be like that,
But
in
it
the
helped
end,
us.
honestly, I'm happy with it. I mean, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Like, in the way.
I think you're both very inspiring, and you know, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but it could be, you know, you could easily go down the route of just be posing on Instagram and you know, against fast cars or whatever, you know, like some people are, and men and women. But, you know,
And the stereotypes there with the Eastern European countries in terms of like, you know, you get a lot of women that come from those countries and all they want to do is portray themselves and advertise their bodies or that image. Whereas you're now, as I said at the beginning of the pod, you're pioneering and setting a trend for the rest of the women out there that there is a space and there is, you know, a ladder that you can, you know, lift other women
That's for sure.
into this space.
Yeah, we would love to be that kind of model, and I understand the mentality or the women who take it the easy way, but we never took it like the easy way. No matter how complicated
like-
something was or how hard.
You know, like women and men can be like that in any country. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like just, I don't know. It has been like the stereotypes.
Stereotype.
You're gonna say that word.
Okay, like this stereotype, yeah.
Yeah, like the stereotype, is there, but like you find people like that everywhere. I don't know, Germany, like Austria,
Sure.
but they're like nobody talks about that. It's just I don't know.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's just really refreshing. I think. And like, it's not about the place or the country or even the
Exactly.
genre.
Stereotypes.
Gender.
It's fine. We're gonna edit that.
In terms of the gender,
It's
but
good that you also have our mistakes. So
I know, yeah, it's fine.
Got it.
It's our
And it
third
was
pod.
nearby.
I'm
It
like,
was nearby, so it's fine.
how? So
We're all running on like
So do you think-
3 hours sleep.
do you think that's just tuned into the way you were raised and the work ethic and the sort of you know, the entrepreneurship of wanting to be successful and now you're running your own business, so you're in control of that, right? You're not working for anyone, so it's a different mentality to have.
Yeah, that's true. It's a different mentality. But you know, when you work for yourself, you basically work more than someone who has like a
9 to
9
5
to 5 job. Yeah,
100%,
because
yeah.
when you go home, I mean,
The
you
work
don't have-
doesn't stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as an employee, you don't have to actually, I don't know, think about it, think about your job after the hour
5
you
o'clock.
leave.
Yeah, you
You
shut
have
off
zero
and-
comfort
I mean,
as an entrepreneur, zero.
Just to be clear, there are people like they work and they do take their work at home. Like they keep being involved in their job, even if they finish the program. Let's say.
Sure.
But like it's a less, I don't know, percentage of people who do that.
Yeah, because they feel
Comparing
like
to
they're
when you're-
already sapped of energy because of that 9 to 5 job.
Exactly.
And they can only sort of limit themselves in a short space of time to do something else. Whereas, entrepreneurs like yourself have the opportunity to
You're like
to really find some new ways to reinvent yourself or be resourceful.
It's
and-
not more like so much an opportunity as a necessity to do that.
Yeah.
Especially
Would you say
in
you're
the
both
tech.
rare, like in terms of like
Rare?
Rare.
in terms of
Like
like
meat.
medium or well done or what?
medium rare? No, in terms of
we don't see you as pieces of meat, by the way.
in terms of like
Thank you
know,
for
in
clarification.
terms of your culture and the friends and people around you, you know, is it, you might say, look, where we're from, it's full of
No, we
women
actually
like
have
us.
a lot of
lot of-
friends,
yeah.
who work in the industry or who are lawyers or who are doctors or whatever, and there are incredible
Smart and,
women.
yeah.
we went to Turkey, we went to Romania, Bulgaria and Serbia, 3 places where it was just like, there was more women than men. And it just felt, that's what it felt. That's what it felt like.
For you,
No,
yeah,
no, in
horrible
terms of just-
experience.
In terms of just being, if we're walking the street and finding somewhere to eat, lots of women, all very smartly dressed, all seemed like it just
Put
felt
together.
different.
They
Put
carried-
together.
yeah, they were put
and it felt like
together.
they were, on their way to do something. And it just,
Yeah.
it was a bit of a eye opener coming from like the UK, which I don't know. It just felt different, and we've spent quite a bit of time in Lithuania filming, and I spent a lot of time there, and I met people in the hotel. I met this one woman in a hotel, and her and her husband, she was the main person that run this diamond jewelry store with her husband, company, and it sounds like it was sort of shocking to see, but it was just really refreshing, because I think that
you don't expect to find people like this.
It's not.
See, for me,
He's from UK,
for me, I think it comes from like they're fairly. I mean, I go into it. It's a big topic, Soviet Union times, and I think where those hardships have really sort of empowered people to live a different life and seen things in the Western world of how not to do things. And I like you said, use that example. We've been to Lithuania where we were making a film, and we just saw the most immaculate, clean. Everything, like the food was amazing. The people were on a mission.
Men, women, all dressed really. And when people carry themselves in that way, it's they say if you make your bed every day, you've done something already. When people carry themselves in a way they're presenting themselves, you can kind of step into their world a little bit and go, okay, that person's organized, or they're going somewhere, or they're passionate, or they're driven, or they've got a company that they're running.
Right, let's go down a different route, different avenue. The big topic of discussion, I think, is what everyone wants to know. I mean, like, what do you got, females especially? What do you think of Andrew Tate? He can be controversial. But he says things as he sees it, and I want to know from highly intelligent females, what do you think?
Romanian perspective.
Well, at least he advertised Romania a lot. I mean, everyone knows where Romania is because of him.
Wow.
I agree to some point with some of the stuff he says, but generally, I mean, like, for example, in Romania, most of the people are still traditional, or they still see as the relationship between a woman and a man as traditional, like, the woman has to be in her feminine energy, and a man has to be in his masculine energy. So basically, this is what I agree when he talks about the relationship in general. But he has a very trying not to step on. He
has like a polarizing way of saying it that
too brutal,
that
too
can
raw,
be too extreme or too.
Yeah, exactly.
When you say you agree,
exactly.
When you say you agree with his like some of the stuff he says is traditional, do you put that into not just female and female and masculine traits? Do you think that, like, when he says, okay, as a male, I will look after and protect.
Well, that's the male energy.
Yeah, and as a female, she's going to be at home or waiting for me or whatever. Is that some of the stuff?
Not necessarily.
What sort of specifics would you say you agree with?
It's not like I
just
watched him religiously.
No.
I get home and I need to see what he said today.
Yeah.
I just have like a general opinion about him.
Okay.
My content doesn't focus on what Andrew Tate says. It's mostly focused on tech stuff and other.
I agree. Some of the stuff he said is.
Tell me what you guys.
Well, look, I think some of
you're
the stuff.
From.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff he says is true. I think he said some really interesting stuff, like he says that anyone walking around with a six-pack is not going to be depressed, and I think anyone that works out in the gym and is healthy in that way, and your mindset, and if you get to a point where you've got a six-pack, I was listening to a really interesting quote on people that have a six-pack. Listen to this. So in America, I think it was I'm going to get this wrong. I think in America there's 1,000 millionaires in America, or something like that. 1,000 millionaires, yeah. No.
The number
doesn't matter. Sorry. A lot of millionaires.
It does. There was 1 million millionaires in America. Okay. That's categoric. In America, there's around 21,000 people walking around with a six-pack. So I'm just giving you an example that how crazy difficult it is to get into that mindset. So when he says stuff like that, and he says like, the best time you have is hanging out with your friends, your bros, or if your girlfriends or whatever, stuff like that is like it resonates, and you can kind of agree. I think it doesn't make sense to me how he's made all that money. And when someone's made all that money in Romania, in the country he's in, has he been doing something wrong or bad? Because it doesn't make sense. It's an insane amount of money.
I think he's just taken advantage of what he could at the time, and I wouldn't say exploited women, but he used that to his advantage to
basically exploited. I don't want to see
another different words.
Yeah, using saying to advantage is exploiting.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's obviously there's so many opinions on him, and I just think the way he comes across, he's very knowledgeable. Yeah. He's very opinionated. He says things as they are, and he speaks. In some ways, he speaks the truth.
I think what he said about the chess thing was really important. He said about playing chess. Learn to play chess. If you want to do anything well, learn to play chess.
I'm sure he plays chess every night.
Well, he just said that when you play chess and you are responsible for your mistakes. There's only one person. If you lose at chess, you're the only person. At some point, you made a mistake, and it's you can apply that.
Same as tennis, because you are. If you make a mistake, you're the only one responsible.
Yeah. In
less
terms
strategy,
of but not really, because your tennis is governed by a referee and rules and regulations. With chess, there's very specific rules,
and there's a strategy.
And if you lose, then you've made a mistake. But what's your thoughts? Because you've been
about Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know him that well, so if I would say something,
if he goes out of the prison, we go in the same places. We go out in the same places, so we'd rather just keep our.
No, but so I suppose is he as big and famous as?
The only thing I like about him, let's say, is that he doesn't contain himself, and he speaks what he thinks.
He speaks the truth,
yeah,
right?
But no, not he speaks the truth.
He is truth.
Like, he's not afraid to expose what he thinks.
And do you think that's important in today's...
Yeah, because it's great for marketing. I mean, whenever you see a person who's genuine about what he believes, whatever, even if it's right or wrong, you are attracted to that energy, to the the genuinity.
There's so many things now on social media where people are so scared to say what they think or feel because they don't want to offend the wrong person or the wrong group of people. And it's like, is there the pendulum has gone really far one way, even trying to cancel comedians and all this kind of thing. Like, is he part of that pendulum swing to come back, which if you take it as that specific segment, then okay, that's what he should be allowed, and that's why he was allowed back on Twitter and different things like that. But no, it's just, I've never, obviously, again, it used the word rare. It's quite rare to be sat with, two Romanian women who are from Romania and where his...
Romanian woman from Romania. Wow. That is so rare indeed.
It's so rare. No, but having your views on such a polarizing figure.
How many what?
Such a polarizing figure. Having your views and thoughts. And to be honest, you shocked me a bit because you haven't gone, no, we hate him. He's vile, he's terrible. You've gone, well, I understand some of it.
Because we're trying to be positive and take the good things out of.
He's already in prison.
Yeah, he's already in prison. So
what else can you say
so
about
you don't care,
Let's try not to hit the man who's already down.
At least maybe he is allowed on Instagram or TikTok. He has his phone and
he can watch the podcast.
Exactly. He will feel good about it.
Yeah.
At least that.
So we touched upon the metaverse in my previous conversation. I want to go into programming now, and let's get your take into what programming is, how that can influence, because there's a lot of jobs now that are online based, and a lot of people are looking into how can they be a positive influence online, and how they can look at potential jobs that they can make as much money as possible online. So I want to take you back. I've watched millions of times the movie Back to the Future. I've watched iRobot. These kind of films for me were just like wow, this is something that has not even been invented yet, and yet this is something that people are predicting that could be in the future.
Like what?
Now, what do you see in terms of your expertise in programming, of how it's going to be shaped in the future, and what's going to be the new invention that, apart from what we've just discussed with ChatGPT and AI and all these influences of technology, where do you see your influence in programming in the future?
Well, I wouldn't really separate those two, because programming is involved in all the metaverse stuff and all the. I mean, in the end, all the metaverse apps and I don't know, augmented reality, virtual reality apps, they all have a programming base in the end. I mean, when we talk about evolution, we talk about both programming, like the back end of everything that's happening, and the front end, the things you actually see, the apps you can actually use. So I would. When
I think he's more asking like for future, for kids or for young people who actually want to get into this field. What would you suggest they go into, or what is I don't know, a good technology that will evolve in the future, and that would be very money making, right?
Exactly.
Definitely, artificial intelligence is going to be there. I mean, artificial intelligence is the one that grew exponentially, and as I was saying previously, the more power we will have, the greater things we will be able to actually develop. So yeah, for sure. Even though it's moving in a very alert pace, like you have to be always reading and learning about it. It's the only technology, I would say, that actually has a huge, not the only, but one of the few technologies, let's say, that have like a great potential. Like this is
And
for
for
sure.
money
And they say,
making.
And for money making too.
they say like if you want to look at the where where a certain market is heading, just look at the background of the sort of the technical side of who's building it. So if all of a sudden if you, instead of looking at like the end result of an app, if you've got 100,000 coders behind it, you know that technology is driving because there's the coding and the programming behind it is being vamped up.
And
so
you can see every day like a new AI company showing up. Not all of them are AI, to be honest, but most of them have ChatGPT.
yeah. But do you think like one of the
But-
top 5 are gonna sort of just is this gonna be like the way that future technologies are moving? And let's use AI as an example. Do you think that something like ChatGPT is the thing that's gonna stick, where it's like it's not Facebook, Google, Apple, it's not one of the top 5 majors, or do you think one of the top 5s are just gonna, because they've got so many resources and money, they are gonna just go, Facebook are just gonna go, yeah, we've created ChatGPT 5.0.
I don't think that it has to be a competition between who created and who. I mean, we are all working. That's the power of AI.
For the same
like,
goal,
yeah, exactly,
it's
for
not
the
a
same
competition,
goal.
It's about resources. If Facebook want to drop $1 billion tomorrow on an AI software, they can.
Yeah,
Whereas,
I think they are. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that it's in the news, but they certainly are working on AI besides the metaverse stuff, because they are investing a lot in the AR and VR and MR. So besides that, they are surely investing in AI. They had AI. Their algorithm is AI. They had it for like a lot of years. So
Yeah, they've been stalking us like for years and years. I mean, all the data, all the patterns that they put the people into. I mean, that's AI. As I was saying, it didn't have like a face. Like people were not talking about AI, like the regular people.
wow. The real like regular middle ground average person like you.
I just wanted
And we
to
went
make
on to
this-
like
it was a
female
joke.
and stuff, and you've just
We're
done
gonna
it.
cut
It's
it.
nice to have a bit of it's nice to have a bit of banter on the male side. Regular people like you. Oh my god. What are we, monkeys?
What
You said it.
Does a regular people
Means
means
monkey.
Well, no, but just
No,
like
but you make a very good point there. Like, it was always there, but it was
Yeah.
never talked about
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they didn't think it was evolutionary possible
Exactly.
to make it happen.
Because
But
we-
maybe because the technology was not that advanced at that
Exactly.
moment in time. But now that we feel that it is, it has to be talked about because now people are actually going, right, wow, no, this could actually work. This could actually happen. So I think, making having an answer to his point is basically saying, it wasn't talked about then, but it is now because
the moment anything goes like to the average person, where
Yeah,
everyone's
true.
using it, it becomes, that's when the masses are hooked and they're
Yeah.
involved,
Exactly.
and then it changes everything. What if there's anything that's not there yet, like, let's say, you've got AI. What's next, or what's not been discovered? Would you say if there's something that hasn't been discovered, could be flying cars, whatever. But what's a technology which you think will eventually happen, which hasn't been discovered yet, or which will?
Well, if I knew that, I would be a billionaire. I mean, it's something. It's not discovered yet. Yeah.
And it's not really about. I mean, everyone expects like the next year is gonna be a monster or whatever. It's like we're talking about algorithms. We're talking about models that are trained on better data, on better labeled data, and that's basically it. I mean, even GPT-4. I mean that it's gonna be launched soon, and it's like that ChatGPT.
So what are we at now? Are we at 3? Are we at 3 now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
GPT-4 is going to be when's that?
This year.
This year.
And
exactly.
what's give us a sort of insight on what the changes are, or what the
I'm not sure about what they're gonna bring new, because like
but
what they brought with GPT-3 was like they took into consideration like when you prompt something like a text or whatever, they took into consideration like the context. Like for example, you give ChatGPT 2 sentences. Right now, it can actually interpret your sentence and take
also the context into consideration.
Exactly. Like you gave it like one more question previously. Mm-hmm. Well, you're gonna see that their answer, it's gonna take into consideration the first question that you put into ChatGPT.
Okay.
For example, if you were asking, I don't know, what's the MetaVerse, it's gonna reply something. But then you say, I don't know, I have a tech agency, give me a description about what I do, for example. I don't know. Yeah. It's gonna take into consideration what you asked previously.
Right. So it's asking, it's going to be able to answer multiple sort of questions within one. If you say, if you use something, say, what is the metaverse, that can answer it then. But if you say, what is the metaverse and how can it be used in my field of this or that, then that's where it's going to start becoming more advanced.
But it's basically trained on a lot more data, so it's going to be way more precise than GPT-3.
And also, I'm going to throw it out there, right? I think it's using these technologies, these advanced technologies for positive use, right?
Yeah.
And the big topic in today's world is sustainable energy. Mm-hmm. It's about it's saving the environment, saving the world that we live in, to have a sustainable future. Mm-hmm. So we're not, exhausting all our resources, taking whatever we can from this world. So there's longevity in this world. How do you think the advanced technologies will influence sustainable energy resources?
Well, for example, right now, there's a company who wants to resurrect species that are disappeared, like the dodo bird or something like that. I read an article about it. So they are using artificial intelligence to do that. Mm-hmm. So, okay, we are using a lot of power to build these artificial intelligence systems, but in the same time, we're going to use artificial intelligence to make a better world, like in a world. How? Well, it's a very complex query. We need to do another podcast just for that.
Yeah, imagine like after a few years, they're gonna be like, I don't know, the possibility to take your consciousness and put it into another body or into a robot or something. Like the possibilities are huge. Yeah. Like it really depends, again, as Iona said also, like the data you have, like, I don't know, the computing power, like everything, like it's connected.
Actually, there is right now. It's not working extremely well, but there are kind of like a couple of apps where you can actually input all the conversation you had with a loved one, who's no longer here, and the AI would approximate what that person would actually say. Yeah. So I mean, it has.
Wow, and then you've got the
See, I-
potential of building
Yeah,
video on top
exactly,
of that. They
exactly.
look like they're talking to you.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
Kind of
You got to
stuff.
look at those like Google cars that deliver packages, but they're evidently like a robot that delivers packages in LA. I think wherever the headquarters are, California as well.
yeah.
And you can see them going around, and they're just using a robot brain just to be able to deliver.
Yeah,
and I think that's
we're-
pioneering in it. So
I
We're
think the
already
first-
talking about hardware, so that's gonna be a bit more time until we
Yeah.
get there to have like a robot who actually can pick up this thing with precision and without dropping it on the floor or something like that.
I saw a robot like dissect a banana, and it did it in a way that was like way more advanced and sort of detailed than a human could do it.
Okay.
So there's the potential to do that in
Yeah.
operations and stuff like that. I think I don't think it's gonna. I don't think the first thing, as much as it'd be great, I don't think the first thing is going to be sustainable. How can we improve
No,
the planet?
no,
I think it's
100%
going to be, and this is exactly what I would use it for selfishly: speed, efficiency.
Control.
Not control, not relying on hiring. If you could do everything in ChatGPT and not hire 5 people to do it, and you've got to go around and train that person, like that's going to speed up a lot of stuff very quickly in
true.
business and stuff. And yeah, you'll see a lot of people's jobs probably go, and things will start becoming redundant. But then that's a kind of test to, like you said, there'll be more jobs that are created on the AI side,
Exactly.
and if you're, it's probably not great to say, but if you're getting rid of people where the job can be done in the computer, then that's fine. I think, I don't know, it can be fine. It depends.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know. As long as it's like, I don't know. As long as it's, if you're dealing with someone who's good, but they've got complicated things that's coming into play, or they don't turn up to work one day. Like there's loads of things that come into play that could affect your business or anything. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's so fascinating talking to you both about it. Really fascinating, honestly. It's almost like when you think of the world and the universe and how crazy, it is up there, and what is up there. It's like that, the potential of where things can go and what they can do. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having us.
Where can people find you and
Everywhere in the world.
everywhere in the world? Exactly. But what's like you've got where you're most active on, and what's your handles?
They can find me on Instagram, or LinkedIn. But on Instagram, we post a lot of content for like
got your
in the
company-
tech field.
Your specific.
Contact
Yes.
form also on our website for collaboration.
Yeah.
Like
What's
that's
your-
great
What's the
as
company
well.
called?
What's your website?
Backing ideas.
Backing ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I like that.
backing.ideas.com.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you for the promotion.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
and,
But what's the name that people can find you on Instagram?
IOANA Carmen M.
Yep.
And surprisingly, Marina is my name. Marina Florentina. MC.
We'll put a little link in
There's
the
no
post.
tag.
Yeah.
We'll subtitle
It's
that.
actually
Our family name, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Amazing.
a lot.
Okay. Well, yeah. Thank you very
Too
much
long.
for coming in today.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you so
us.
Yeah,
much.
thank you so much. 1 million views.
1 million views.
1 million views.
There we go.
Let's see.
Ah.